Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Baby, we are going to make a delicious meal today. I'm going to show you how to make some dirty rice, and we're serving that with some lemon and herb chicken wings. Ooh, and how about some buttery cabbage? Baby, I'm going to link a recipe to the potato salad in the description box. And honey, let's go ahead and get started with this dirty rice. Now, I like to use a pound of mild or hot Italian sausage in my dirty rice. But, if you don't play with the pig, beef will always work out for you well. So I'm going to lay this semi-flat and just let this cook on one side for about 4 minutes. I like to let it get brown because brown means flavor. Okay, the brown people got flavor. The brown meat got the flavor. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, once the meat is brown, I am also going to add in some chopped up smoked andouille sausage. And I'm going to allow that to just warm up and cook for about 3 minutes as well. If your pan is dry or if your pork doesn't have a lot of fat on it, feel free to add a little bit of bacon grease, okay? Next, I'm going to go in with that Trinity. I have some onions, some bell peppers, and some celery. And I love to use the colorful bell peppers because they have more sweetness. And then I'm putting in some fresh garlic. My spices include some pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a salt-free Cajun seasoning. If you want your rice to have a little kick, okay, go ahead and throw in a little bit of cayenne pepper. But my salt-free Cajun seasoning actually has habanero pepper in it, so this got a little spice on it. Then I'm going to put in some boiling water. I like to boil the water in my kettle so that I don't change the temperature of the pan. I'm using some beef bouillon to make beef broth. If you already have pre-made beef broth, then you don't need to use this bouillon. I'm throwing in some MSG as well as a bay leaf and some fresh thyme because I must have the fresh herbs, and a cup and a half of washed jasmine rice. Parboiled rice would also be a great option for this. I'm going to mix everything well, and you want to taste the broth. It should taste well seasoned. I'm going to add a piece of parchment paper under my lid so I can trap in the steam, and I'm going to cook this on the lowest heat setting for 20 minutes. I don't want that excess moisture back into the pan, so I'm going to collect that and dump that out, and I'm going to use a spatula to gently fluff my rice. Y'all, this rice is so good, and if you wanted this to be a meal on its own, you could even add a veggie and just eat it like that because it does have meat in it and it is very well seasoned. I've also eaten this rice with a side of southern pinto beans and black-eyed peas, and it has been phenomenal. Let me know if you are going to try this dirty rice recipe and also how you make yours. Next up is these delicious lemon and herb chicken wings. I'm going to first go in with some sofrito. You guys have seen me make this, and I'll link my recipe down below. Then I am going to season my chicken up well. I like to add a little bit of brown sugar. That's going to add a very slight sweetness that is going to complement the other spices. Now, you do not have to use everything that you see me using here. You just use whatever it is that you have in your cabinet. However, since this is sort of a lemon wing, I would suggest using the lemon pepper. Once I've added all of my spices plus some oil, I am going to mix everything up well, and I like to let my chicken marinate at room temperature for about 20 to 30 minutes just so it doesn't have that chill on it. Not only does the seasoning seep into the meat, but it also makes sure your meat isn't tough, because when cold meat hits a hot pan or a hot oven, it tends to toughen up. I'm also going to add some fresh lemon thyme. If you have access to fresh herbs, I always suggest that you use them because they will brighten up your food. Once it is done marinating, I am going to add this to a 9x13 pan. Now, I had a lot of wings, okay? I had a lot of wings and things. So all of my chicken didn't fit. So I also made a small 8x8 pan with the additional chicken. Of course, this is lemon chicken, so I am using some fresh lemon. Nothing will beat when that lemon just cooks down and the juices just seep onto the chicken. It is going to make the gravy delicious. I'm going to stick this in the oven at 400 degrees initially, and I'm going to allow this to cook for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I'm going to check my chicken, and as you can see, it is nice and brown. Come on, but I want the other side to get some color too, and I'm also loving that there's a lot of juices in the pan. As the chicken continues to cook, that's going to dry up and taste really good on your meat. To ensure that the chicken does not get dry, I am going to also spray them with olive oil, and this is also going to assist in the browning. This is just regular olive oil that has been put in a sprayer, but you for sure can use the spray stuff. I'm going to put this back in the oven for 20 more minutes to allow it to brown on the other side. After that time, I check my chicken, looking good, okay? But I want to add a touch of sweetness. I don't want sweet chicken, but this little bit of honey to me adds a good color and a little caramelized touch. So I just add on a little bit and just let it cook for about 5 more minutes. Now, ooh, child, will you look at that? This chicken is so good. It is moist. It has a great fresh lemon and herb flavor. My goodness, this is so good. And if you don't have chicken wings, you of course could do this with chicken thighs or chicken legs. Are you going to try this chicken wing recipe? Let me know in the comments. My southern people, okay, hear me out. Today we are breaking the chain. Should I say the generational curse of having to put meat in every vegetable? Okay, the vegetables have their own flavor, all right? Especially if you're getting good quality. When I make a meal that has a lot of other meat elements, I really don't want to put too much meat inside of my cabbage. This is my hands down favorite way to make cabbage. It is easy, it is light, it tastes so good, and it really complements the sweetness of the cabbage. So I am going to just add a little bit of olive oil and high quality butter to the pan. In a dish that is this simple, I would say the quality of the ingredients matter more. Once I have that butter melted and I've sauteed in a little bit of onion, I like to add thyme because it flavors the oil and just gives an overall slight herbal note to your cabbage. Then I'm adding in some garlic butter. I'm also going to season this with a little bit of sugar, just a touch, pepper, salt, a bit of garlic powder, and some red chili flakes. Not too much red chili flakes, okay? You don't want people to burn their mouth on this cabbage. It just adds a little bit of heat, but not too much. Then I'm going to cover this and let this cook for about 10 minutes. You don't need to add any water. Just have the heat on like a medium low, and the cabbage will release its own water. It was slightly too crunchy for me, so I covered this again and I let it cook for about 10 more minutes. But really, you should just cook your cabbage until it is at the texture you like. I really don't like mushy cabbage, so I don't go any longer than 15 to 20 minutes. Are you going to try this buttery cabbage recipe? Do you always have to have meat in your vegetables? Okay, let me know in the comments, honey. Are you going to be making this meal? It is so good. I added some rolls and baby, we was in business. You guys know that I love you and Jesus loves you. And I'm going to see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye and God bless.